Hey Total BS fans, tonight we're cooking up some dinner and I got Addie helping out tonight with us. There's Addie. She's shy. We're going to be making some barbecue chicken egg rolls and a Southeast Asian inspired sauteed noodles. So stick around, it's going to be a scrumdiddlyumptious event.
Hey guys, I am here cutting up these pineapples for this pineapple ginger sauce, which we are going to be using later.
Very good. How small are you going to make them?
Small.
Dice them up into little pieces?
Yep.
Very good. Addie's doing a great job. If she wasn't so responsible, we would certainly not let her do this.
Okay, so what I have here is I have already chunked up the pineapple into small itty bitty pieces. And so I have it in the saucepan ready to make the sauce, so let's go.
Alright, so we're going to make our pineapple ginger sauce. We're going to start out with some grapeseed oil. We're going to sweeten it with a little bit of balsamic raspberry glaze. Got some ground ginger. We've got farm fresh honey from the Bramble Ridge Orchard out of Mount Sterling, Kentucky. We've got some sesame seed oil, and then just for a little flavor, we got some crushed red pepper. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make our sauce for dinner tonight. And we're going to start off with the grapeseed oil. And we're going to add about a third of a cup of grapeseed oil into the pineapple. Then we're going to take our balsamic glaze and we're going to do about 3 tablespoons.
That stuff is so good.
It's real good. It'll add a really nice sweetness, a little pungent flavor to it. With our ground ginger. Dried herbs are never as pungent or flavorful as the real fresh herb. So you want to add a little bit more than what you normally would of your fresh ingredients. So that's about 2 tablespoons. With our crushed red pepper, we're going to go about 2 teaspoons because
some like it hot.
Some like it hot. Some like it not so hot. Little sesame seed oil, about 2 tablespoons. Excuse me, 2 teaspoons, because that is very flavorful.
Yes, very aromatic too.
And then our honey from the Bramble Ridge Orchard.
Thanks, Allie.
And thanks, Bird, for robbing the bees. We're going to add the rest of this jar, which was about a cup.
Oh, you know that's so good.
We're out. Send more.
Send more.
So now we're going to take this, we're going to put it on the stove, and we're going to let this start heating up and starting to cook. So there we go. I am the king of leftovers. I love leftover food. I can manipulate it into different ways for different meals. That's kind of what we're doing tonight. We have leftover barbecue chicken that I cooked on the grill last night. I've got a leftover Chipotle barbecued pork chop from a couple nights ago. And then for our egg rolls, we're going to use just your basic red coleslaw mix that you can pick up at Walmart. And we picked up some egg roll wrappers from Walmart's as well. And that's what we're going to be stuffing tonight and frying. So in addition, we're going to add a little bit more Sweet Baby Ray's. They're not a sponsor, they should be. Into our mix. And you always got to have some great value Walmart provided soy sauce.
Same stuff.
Around just to help liven it up. Then last but not least, our staple in this household, we've got our garlic. We're going to crush and mince up some garlic to throw in the mix as well. So get your garlic out of the paper flatten your chef knife out with the heel of your hand, smash it. And the garlic should fall smashingly right out. There you have it. Once more, flat knife, palm of your hand, crush it.
Hi-ya.
As Addie says, hi-ya, and right out of the paper.
Addie, what's our favorite food to eat with here, or spice?
Garlic.
Addie loves garlic. Yes, she does.
All right, so we already mixed our slaw in there and our diced pork chop. It was about a third of a cup of diced pork altogether, and it was about 1 full cup of diced slaw mix.
And the garlic.
And the garlic, the 3 small cloves of garlic. And now we're gonna cut up our chicken. So the easiest thing to do with your chef knife is just run down the bone of your chicken leg, if you're using chicken legs like we are.
It helps that it's cold, right?
Helps that it's cold. It cuts up a lot easier. Get that little tendon off. So you're still getting 98% of your meat off the chicken. So then just come through and find the tendons and the skin that's no good. Pull that out. Because you don't want a fatty, soggy egg roll. You want a nice, crisp,
Yummy.
yummy egg roll on the inside. So just kind of pull that skin off, get a little bit of that gristle off. And then just gonna come through and chop it.
Why are you getting them so small?
Well, you want smaller bites. You don't need a big piece of meat in your egg roll. It's going to be equally distributed. So you want something smaller that's going to
fit in the egg roll.
Fit in the egg roll nicely. All right, there you go. All right, so we've got all the chicken diced up. We got all the pork diced up. We got all the broccoli, not broccoli. We got all the garlic minced up. So now you just want to come through and gently mix everything together in your bowl. And as I said before, we're going to add a little bit of Sweet Baby Ray's.
Dry hand, wet hand.
Dry hand, wet hand. And only about 2 tablespoons. You don't want a whole lot. You just want something just to
stick it all together.
Bind it all together and have a nice little flavor when you bite into that crunchy egg roll. All right, next up, we've got the water on for the noodles. We're going to start heating the oil up for the egg rolls. We're going to start rolling some rolls. Stay tuned. As any good cook should do, you need to taste your food as you go through the preparation process. I almost omitted the soy sauce because I didn't think that I wanted the soy and the barbecue to compete in flavor, but it needs it. It needs the soy sauce, so I'm just going to add about 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon just to give it that salt factor that every food needs. You don't want to over salt, but you definitely need to season your food. So I'm going to mix that up and we'll be ready to roll. So we're now ready to roll our egg rolls. We have our wonton wrappers, we have our water, and we have our mix. So we're going to take our wonton wrapper, lay it out in a diamond in front of you, and we're going to take 2 scoops, no, not of raisins, of our mix, get it centered, And you're going to go from diamond point right over top of your filling. And then you're going to get your fingers wet in the water, and you're going to paste. If you have a pastry brush, that'll work well. Get that wet, and you're just going to start to roll it in just like you would on a burrito. But we're not making burritos today, we're making egg rolls.
In case anyone was confused.
Yeah, don't get confused. And then we have our egg roll.
Very good. Let me see that up close. Very cool. I like that. This is my first time doing these.
And it's okay, like this one, if you don't totally get your end wrapped. By the time you get done making all these, you're going to be a pro at wrapping, and you're not going to have any problems. So again, you have your diamond facing your belly. You scoop your mixture, and this can be any mix. This can be all veggies. This can be shredded barbecue pork. It could be brisket. Whatever you want to throw in there, throw in there.
So you're essentially almost like an envelope wetting the ends.
Yes.
That's really cool.
And so we're going to fold, fold, and roll.
I do believe that one's perfect.
That was perfect.
Cool.
So what he said to do was this.
You're
And
gonna-
then I'm gonna wet my fingers.
This is a fun kid dinner.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I stuck.
Start wrapping that present.
Just like you're wrapping a present. Corner to corner. There you go. Now squeeze and tuck. You want it tight, but as you roll gently. Tight, but roll gently. Excellent.
Very good. Let's see.
First time.
Let's see that pretty face. Good job. Good job, you little
All
egg
right.
roller.
Okay, so I'm back. I'm making another egg. Hopefully this time it doesn't freak out on me.
Well, your first two didn't freak out on you, so I don't think this one will. Doing a great job.
The first one kind of didn't, but the second one kind of did. Because it got like about to rip on me. Okay.
Gotta learn to love the roll. Miss Long Fingers.
Duh.
Look how quick you did that.
Excellent.
Alright, next time you see us, there's gonna be a lot more of those.
We've got our grapeseed oil in our pot here. If you don't have a deep fryer at your house, it's okay. Just get a pot, or even better yet, use a cast iron Dutch oven. And we've got our oil, at about 350, 375. And you don't want to go too much over that with grapeseed oil. It can go up to about 450, but you don't want it that hot because you don't want a grease fire in your house. So we're going to check our grease first with our first egg roll. So we're going to set it down in. Oh yeah, it's ready to rock and roll.
That looks like a great homemade fryer to me.
That it is. So since all your food is cooked on the inside, it doesn't need a whole lot. You need about a minute in the fryer with this. And you can see to best left, we have a plate with paper towels on it to pull these out and drain them. But you want to make sure you get your food hot all the way through, but not burn the egg rolls.
Okay, so pretty much when it's brown, like a golden brown.
Golden brown, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this one out.
Okay.
And we're gonna let that cool off for a minute and see if we've got our grease too hot or just right.
I think it's cool how it's bubbling up.
All right, so we did our first test of an egg roll. Has a great flavor, but the grease was a little too hot. So we turned the temperature down, and we're gonna let these bad boys go. That way everything gets hot all the way through. That way you have no risk of getting sick from some little nasty microbe that might have snuck in on the fridge when the chicken was cooling down. So you always want to make sure that your food is at least 165 degrees. That way it kills all foodborne contaminants, and it's safe to eat. Even though you might think it's safe to eat and it's okay for you, someone else their body's different. Everybody's different, but that's a good thing. But that food may not like them very much and might make them pretty sick. So always make sure your food's cooked thoroughly. Here we have our pineapple ginger sauce. It's been simmering on the stove for 40 minutes, and it's awesome. It's really good.
It smells delicious.
It has a slight sesame note to it. Has a slight sweet note to it. You get just a tinge of the red pepper flake, but it's ready to go. We've got our egg rolls done. We've got 11 because we had to taste one. And I'm getting my stir fry ready to go for the noodles. I got my water boiling. We're going to cook the noodles to an al dente. Then we're going to throw them into our hot pan. So I've got diced ham. I've got a cup of mixed vegetables, frozen mixed vegetables, carrots, peas, beans, corn, limas. Great stuff.
Season them up. We'll get those kids eating lima beans.
We'll get them eating some veggies one way or the other. And then we're just going to throw in some peanut. Just to make it different.
Regular old peanuts. Huh?
Regular old peanuts. Kirkland brand from Costco. They're not a sponsor, but they should be.
Do that again.
From Costco. They're not a sponsor, but they should be. If you don't have a spatula, or if you don't have something to stir your pan with, that's okay. God gave you hands, and you just need your hands and your skillet. You're just going to rock it forward and flip it up. Get everything nicely stirred up in there. And there you go, back on the heat. My water's back to a rolling boil. Excuse me, Addison. And it's kind of a throwback to college. We're just going to use some leftover ramen noodles.
Nice and easy.
Thank you, Addison. And if you just thought that ramen were a cheap U.S. college kid food, you're wrong.
Heck no, those things are delicious.
They're delicious, but there are many restaurants around that actually serve ramen. Ramen is a traditional Japanese food. You can find very high-end restaurants that serve ramen in America and Japan. Folks, so we've got our veggies and our ham nice and hot. We've got our ramen noodles to a nice al dente. And so now we toss. I did add just a touch of ground cinnamon and a touch of red pepper flake into this, just to give it that Southeast Asian flair. Oops. Don't kill your stove while you're cooking.
Or the camera lady.
Or definitely don't kill your camera lady. They're usually pretty nice ladies.
Usually he does. Whatever, I'm nice and you know it. Do we add sauce to it, or how does this?
Well, the sauce we'll add at the very end as I plate it.
Gotcha.
That way we can try to do it and not run everybody out of house and home if they don't like the flavor. Can't say that big word tonight.
Necessarily.
That one.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Yummy. Addie, what about you?
This.
Considering you helped make it.
That is very, very good.